Hey, want some popcorn? This is going to be an incredibly attractive live. As you can see, I'm chilling in my PJs, but I got some stuff to share. I think it's important. I also have some excellent popcorn and a Diane Hockman glass that Jason Nagel gave me. Thank you, Jason. I don't know if you see this. Hi, Thomas. Oh. I just posted that I've been reconnecting with some dear friends today, and you, of course, are one of them. Hello, Marilyn. Let me take one of these. Oh. You guys, up to you. Maybe you can watch and share it after, but you might want to share this because I'm going to lay it down. Lay down. Who else is here? Hello, Robert. I ain't feeling so beautiful tonight. I'm kind of pajamaed, messy. I did bathe, but other than that, I'm kind of a mess. Hey, Jack. What's going on, baby? Jack, this will be very interesting to you. It's right up your alley. Let's put it this way. In 2005, 2006, some of you guys have heard me say this, but I'm going to give you more evidence today. I started shouting, things are changing. Things are changing. You better pay attention. Things are changing. Social media was coming. Things were changing. And I watched the trials and the tribulations and the people who said it would never last and it's junk and it's this and that. And they're all now making courses about Instagram, and trying to figure out how to use all this. And now I'm here tonight to tell you and to give you fair warning. And I must feel urgent about it. So again, you may want to share it because I wouldn't come on like this. I just took a shower and I threw on fresh pajamas because I had on pajamas all day. Truth. It's kind of one of those weird days. But I just watched more and I had to come out and share it with you guys. So we now have a computer in our, in our pocket. It's attached to the charger. I could attach it from the charger. A computer in our pocket. We can do live video that we never could imagine. We could do all these things that we never could have imagined. Okay. And now the pendulum is about to swing all the way back. And I've seen the signs creeping up, and I've seen the signs creeping up, and I've seen the signs creeping up. But when I hear a major marketer with 52 years experience, and I hear another major marketer who's like a king of internet marketing, and I hear another major marketer that's just coming up, millennial type, all saying the same thing, and I start to see the media shifting and saying different things on the media, like the mainstream media, it's here, and it's now, and it's not going away, and it's not one of those Hockman premonitions that she has. Guys, the days of you faking till you make it, or when you make it, showing off how you made it, are over, okay? One marketer talked about it as the bikini Lamborghini sensibility. I just saw, in fact, I took screenshots of it. Frank Kern, you guys know who Frank Kern is? He said, do you really think your potential clients actually care what car you drive or what house you live in? Do you think they care about where you went to school, how many followers you have, or what your credentials are? They don't. They care about one thing, how you can help them. And I'm also watching the whole millennial generation talk about they're not into things. They don't want things. They want experiences. And the biggest, hottest thing is travel bloggers and digital nomads and all this other stuff, because people are moving away from the material and they are moving towards, it is a great change, Cindy, towards the spiritual. Now, human nature is never going to change. There's always going to be greed. You're always going to be able to trigger somebody with greed. But what I want you guys to understand is once something's been seen enough, and like, for example, with infomercials, you notice you don't see the number of infomercials in the same way that we used to. Even Beachbody has really shut down and changed the way they do their business with all those infomercials. We don't see it the same way, and people will argue that it's people's attention span. It's not, in my opinion. Who am I? I don't know, I'm just a housewife, who's been around for 20 years. But in my opinion, it's because people have seen this and they've been through it. A lot of people have been to the moon and gotten the money, and it didn't fulfill them. We've watched change. We've watched death. We've watched spiritual leaders running for the president. We've watched people depart. We watched Kobe Bryant over the weekend. Is the video choppy for everybody, or is the video choppy for Scott? Is it me, or is it his location, perhaps? You guys let me know. And even if it is me, I can't really change it. But what I want you all to understand is this industry, the home business industry, is generally one that has been run on the idea of selling money, selling greed, selling material possessions. And there's a lot of people that they depend on this as their vehicle for marketing. And they're starting to learn very quickly that that's not working anymore. Okay. We went from an industry that was trying to help people make a couple bucks a month, like me, right? I was a housewife. I wanted to make enough to pay off my debt, be able to afford a pizza, and take my family to a movie once a month, because it was like a mortgage to take the kids to the movies. That's what I wanted. I had no thought about getting rich. I had no premonition that any of this stuff would happen. All of this stuff I never imagined. And that's because I was the typical person that came into the home business industry. I used a product. I came into the industry, and I then had my eyes open, and I was exposed to more things, and I started to dream. And I'm a unicorn, and I'm a big dreamer. So I dreamed big, and a lot of things happened, and it was pretty gosh darn cool. But I have to say, I think I was, how some people will say they were born in the wrong generation, or they were born at the wrong time. Somebody from the 80s said they should have been born in the 40s or something, their sensibilities. I do believe that I was a marketer at the wrong time, and I still did really well because I used all the social media. I was a pioneer in it, and I used all of this different stuff, but I never left the sensibility of being a housewife trying to make ends meet behind. Okay, never left that behind. And what's happening now, guys, is people are truly shifting. Okay, there's a lot of new terminology coming up. You guys can figure that out on your own, because what happens is if I give you the terminology, everybody overuses it. People are dependent on Facebook groups and dependent on all these different mechanisms that worked really well. But what's happening is as the rules change, what we're finding is we have generations of marketers that haven't developed skills, fundamental skills. We have generations of marketers that don't know how to talk to someone. We have generations of marketers that don't know how to write something very simple. They don't know how to speak in their own words. We have generations of marketers that don't know how to point at a simple presentation to do something that's duplicatable, because everybody thinks they need to overcomplicate it, and they're constantly changing everything around. And we have generations of marketers that are still trying to trigger people with the things that very, very, very soon not going to work anymore. I would say we got 2 years left. Okay, 2 years left. And Rancy just said it was very advantageous for you to stay true to yourself. Thank you, Rancy. But haven't I always advocated that for all of you, to learn some skills and learn some psychology? I never focused on the technology, because that's going to change too fast. Well, you guys watch soon. It's going to change so fast it'll make your head spin. I focused on psychology, human psychology, what motivates humans, because that will never change. Will never change. I could do classes all day long on human motivation and triggers and psychology of the human. That will never change. But how we communicate and the technique is always going to change. And that's what I heard my legendary teacher of many years say this weekend. But I'm also reading Frank Kern saying it and talking about it. And I'm seeing other people saying and talking about it. And gosh knows Gary Vee, who's another one of my favorites, He is just going on and on and on and on and on about it. Okay. If our focus is in the wrong place, and we've had that. In fact, I heard this weekend statistics of network marketing, and I represent, I'm involved in affiliate marketing and different things. It was we were on for 11/11, not 11/11. It's only 10 o'clock. What am I talking about? I saw it live. It said 11/11. I wanted to make a wish. They said sales are going down. Sales are going down. The government is on the heels of a lot of people. Sales are going down. People are getting smarter. Consumers are moving elsewhere. Products that were cutting edge are quickly becoming commodities. Guys, if you think you have the hottest, coolest product, and you probably do, but I want to promise you, like, for example, and don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Somebody will. I'll get a hate letter or they'll talk me on my back. Somebody will get mad at me. Okay. Guys, CBD and hemp stuff. Okay. When it came out in network marketing, it was cutting edge. It was brand new. There is literally a CBD store in every mall. Now, I'm not saying it's as good as what you might sell. I'm not saying it's as good as your system. I'm not knocking anything. But what I'm saying is, back in the day, a company would come out with a shake mix, and it took years for anybody to knock it off or for another company to have anything like it. Now it takes weeks. Anybody can take a product down to the lab and knock it off. So if you think that it's about any of those things, it's not. It's about you and your communication skills. And yes, having good products. I have a good product. I have several good products. I have a good product. I've lost 40 pounds on, the product that I use for nutrition. I've made, 7 figures in the product that I use for teaching and training. So I have good products, but there's lots of other choices that people can make. The reason why you do well is because of your skills. Okay. The reason why you do well is because of you honing your skills of communication. The reason why you do well is learning to talk, learning to walk with confidence, learning to write, learning to speak, learning to, make a graphic if that's your thing, if you're artistic, right? I have one of my students who's gone on to do incredibly well. She's very artistic and she's very good with graphics, and she did a lot and attracted a lot of attention with graphics. That's awesome. I'm not. That's not my bag. But the bottom line is, do you know how to attract a person? Do you know how to have a conversation? Do you know how to point them to what you want? And here's what's funny. Everybody always thought that they had to show up and act like they were rich. But now it's the age of transparency. And that's another one we saw this weekend. I hung out this weekend with Ray Higdon, and he also just put up some posts about stop trying to look fancy and pose. And why don't you just be vulnerable? Why don't you just be vulnerable? Why don't you share with people? Why does everybody think that they're supposed to be the teacher today? That's one thing I'll never get. I'm a perennial student. I just signed up for another course with a brilliant marketer who's not from the space at all. Brilliant, genius marketer. Why does everybody think they have to be the teacher? Why not be the student and the salesperson? So anyway, and I can go and rant on about this, but I'm just trying to give you fair warning that some of the things that we have been using over the last 5 to 10 years are going to stop working. It's already happening. And you have a choice about whether you want to panic and whether you want to be roadkill on the side of the road, or whether you want to tighten up. What am I doing now? Going back to those fundamentals and back to those basics and tightening it up and doing presentations again that I haven't done in years, and doing things and reconnecting with people that I love and care about that I haven't talked to in a while. Not because I want something from them, but reconnecting, seeing, networking. Who do we know? Who can help who? And that's bringing people back towards me and going back to those fundamentals, because people will always, guys, they said it in The Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home. And when people get nervous, they hunker down. And when they hunker down, they go to the place where they feel safe. Are you marketing in a way that causes people to feel safe? Are you marketing in a way that creates an environment where people can come and get love and support and encouragement? Are you marketing in a way that's just boom, 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 quick as you can go, turnover, turnover, turnover? These are the skills that I learned from my teachers. Learning how to communicate in all these different ways. These are the skills I'm going to be focusing on teaching. Because, gang, It's over. May not be over yet. It may take 2 years, but mark my words, I can show you the videos and the audios of me from 2005, 2006, 2007, talking to people, telling them about what was coming and telling them what to focus on. I'm here now. It's January 29th, 2020. I'm sitting here wagging my finger at you. That's so obnoxious, right? In my pajamas. I'm wearing, you know what I'm wearing? Don't look. I don't have a bra on, but I want you to see the shirt. This is, can't see. This is Ben Settle, Ryan Lee, and my English friend. And for the life of me, I can't get his name out of my head, but this is hysterical from an event. And they had this crazy t-shirt. I love marketing paraphernalia, marketing swag, especially when it's old marketing swag from back in the day. Gang, the time is now. If you haven't mastered those old school scripts, master them so that they become your own. If you haven't mastered how to present your product, master it so it becomes your own. If you haven't mastered how to just meet someone and have a conversation and see if they're open without being awkward. I had a girl yesterday, maybe she'll watch this. She didn't send me a friend request though, but she sent me this like copy and paste thing, and she called me a rock star, and she, this, and I know you're busy with your job, but I wanted to see if you're open for a side gig, and using all this terminology, right? This paraphernalia, these words. And I was like, well, I don't have a job. I've been in the industry for 20 years, full-time, 7-figure earner. And then she wrote back, you'd be awesome for my company. We're launching in Canada. She didn't know where I lived. She didn't know anything. She just kept going. And if you see this, I apologize, but at the same time, I tried to help you. I tried to help you. I'm not knocking somebody who's coming down the road and new. Please understand, I'm not. What I'm saying is, if somebody actually engages and talks to you, you have to listen. You have to listen. Yeah, exactly. Can God love her, bless her soul? No, and she's a nice lady. And you can tell she's a nice lady. And I looked at her and she has a family and a dog and she's a good girl. But she's not listening. She's not listening. And that's always been the case in the industry. Everybody's like getting rich quick. But my audience is generally people that have been around a little longer, people that know a little bit more, people that have learned a bit more. I'm not talking to newbies here generally. Hey, Lou. Hey, everybody. I'm talking to crosses arms, sips tea. Don't get me going, Jack. I'm not knocking the new guy. I was the new guy. But I learned very quickly that you have to listen to someone to find out what it is that might interest them about what you have. I learned very quickly that you have to get someone to the presentation, right? Not bicker with them, but see if they're open to take a look, right? Open to take a look. Those words will never change, okay? Maybe the words about the way we introduce it or the way we frame it, right? Frame it, are going to be different. But getting people to look at what you have, whether it's a website, you missed everything, Carl, all the cow jokes. I told all your jokes. I ruined it for you. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm talking to people, most of them are on Facebook because I'm streaming both places. So sorry if you don't see these comments and you think I'm crazy. I am a little crazy, but that's not it. Guys, there's so much that I want for you. There's so much that I want to give to you. And it starts with knowing who you are, getting comfortable with yourself, looking and seeing what other people's hopes and dreams are. If somebody had plowed me with how to make $50,000 and get a Lamborghini, I wouldn't have been interested. It was a housewife that got me. It was a housewife. It was a story. It was a story, a product story and a money story combined that got me. Everything I've ever done, it's always been a story. And if you think about it, it's you too. There's some story that you heard, and yet we don't practice storytelling. Most of you couldn't tell me your story right now because we're so busy trying to get something and go somewhere and all of these things that we're not listening, we're not connecting, we're not being with the person. And that, my friends, is not going to work anymore. Because what social media did was it gave us an incredible amount of leverage I'm lucky. I have 10,000 subscribers here and 10,000 subscribers there and 20,000 over here and this and that, because I've been doing this for a long time. But I got to tell you the truth now, it's not that easy to get friends on Facebook unless you're out there really communicating it again, because that window closed. And we can suck our thumbs and boo-hoo about the window being closed, or we can look at the next window that's opening up. I think the next window is going to be really special because it's a window of authenticity. It's a time when people are willing to share what's really going on, and we're going to stop the baloney, and we're really going to get down into the reality of what's important in this world and what's important in this life. And you know what? Being made up to come live when it's 10 o'clock at night wasn't important. What was important was sharing this message when it was on my heart. Because once I saw Frank Kern's sales page, and he's always been ahead of the game. He's done conversational selling and all this other stuff. In fact, the software that I'm using right now, here, I'll show you. Angela just said stories are powerful. This is how I got this software, because I saw Frank Kern using it, because all he was doing was he was conversationally selling. And he had operators standing by. I'm not selling anything except you back to you. I always say that. My mentor used to say that. But if I were, I could sit and have these conversations with you while I'm conversationally talking, and then I could put up a link, or I could tell you to put in comments a word that would trigger the sales team to come connect with you. It's so easy. It's conversational. But we've forgotten how to have a conversation. But we all know how to do the Macarena on TikTok, So, and everybody, and I like TikTok, and I've been messing with it a little bit, and I think it's going to be super cool. But it's not a platform that's going to solve your problem. And if you look at all the people that have done the most, they just use the leverage of platforms to connect and communicate with more people. That's all they've done. You look at the best of the best, that's all they've done. So if you are writing to people in a way that's impersonal, it's not going to work much longer. If you are speaking to people in a way that's impersonal, it's not going to work much longer. If you are doing video in a way that's impersonal, it's not going to work much longer. Trust me on this. Come back and see me in 3 years. But what I don't want you to do is be the person that comes back and goes, I should have listened to you. I hear people all the time, I should have made an email list. You begged me. You bothered me. And they didn't. And then they go, I should have. Don't come back. I should have used Facebook properly. I should have started a YouTube channel. I should have done this. Well, here's the easiest one. I should become comfortable with myself. I should stop talking about things, and I should start connecting with people, what their needs, wants, and hopes are. And if you understand that about people, quite frankly, you can get rich. So, Angel, you're still here. Angel, I keep asking you, and we are really going to do this. I know you have to go to San Diego, but next week, you and I want to go and blow with you. I want to just go and blow with you. I want to talk about this with you because you are the prime example of somebody who's capitalized this into millions of dollars through loving, and my mentor used to talk about leverage. And in fact, I just saw a post, my friend Josh Peak made a post the other day, and he said, I was just offered a pre-written email series. The best one I ever saw was by my mentor, Joe Schroeder, and he tagged me. And all of these marketers that have been around for 10, 15, and 20 years that are super successful, every single one of them came out and said he was the best of the best. And you know why he was? Because he knew everybody. You couldn't come on his call without him knowing who you were. You couldn't buy one of his products, even if it was a $12 product, without him knowing who you are. And you look at an Angel Fletcher, and I just came back from her event this week, and I was blessed to be the MC. Thank you, Angel, for that opportunity. And she knew everybody. She knows everybody. She has thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people in her team. But if somebody wants to be known, if somebody wants to be visible, if somebody wants to be seen, if somebody wants to be celebrated, that woman is going to love on them. So you wonder why you sit there and, people gossip and they go, how did she do it? What did she do? And she did this. And you know what? She loved people. I'm one of them. Although I have to say, I don't know whether I loved you first or you loved me first or whether it was love at first sight, but she just loved people. I've just loved people. I've been the #1 affiliate at a huge affiliate program. I'm the top paid person. Then I was like bumping up 1 to 2, 1 to 2. Today I'm #1. I might be #2 tomorrow. But I've been there for years. You know why? I know the whole gosh darn community. I know everybody. And I have helped and served everybody, except for during my hiatus there, regardless of who they were, regardless of whether I'd make a dime. Because I came here to serve this industry and serve this profession and to serve and love on people that have a dream, that have a heart, that want something more. And I don't care if you want a little bit more. I needed to take my kids to a movie, a freaking Disney movie. Guys, this was before we had Disney Plus or whatever it's called. I needed to take my kids to a Disney movie and I needed $50 to do it because it was between popcorn and 4 tickets. I needed $50 to do it and I didn't have $50. I needed a pizza was $10, $15. I needed that. I needed $100 for extra good stuff and $400 to throw at my debt. That's what I needed to stay alive and maybe some school shoes. That's what I needed. I never dreamed of this, but it's here. And so who am I to show up and not give back to those that gave to me, whether in person or whether people who I studied and learned from afar. And I ended up hanging out with all of them this weekend. I was with Larry Thompson, the king of this industry, and Ray Higdon, who's been a good friend of mine for years, and Jess and Taylor. And you know, I mean, Larry Thompson, I'm sitting there and he calls me and it's just hysterical because if you guys knew in 1999, when I started, the idea that Larry Thompson would ever call my phone, call me, that was an insane idea, an insane thought. The idea that any of these people would ever call me was an insane thought. And yet it's happened. If you hang around the flagpole, as we used to say back in my first company, if you do, if you make yourself known, if you love on people, if you communicate with people, if you practice those gosh darn scripts, which you all make fun of. See, guys, I make fun of practices, never people, right? And I'll talk about practices. The practice of not listening to somebody who starts communicating with you is a poor practice. The practice of reaching out to people is an incredible practice. It's super important. So the reason why I wrote back to her was to congratulate her for reaching out. And then I talked to her a little bit and found out a little bit, but all she could do is just claw at me. And that's where she is. And that's okay. And everybody comes down the road. I want you guys to become top-notch communicators. I want you guys to get to the place where you filled your mind and you filled your heart and you know how to say something and write something. You don't have to be a copywriter. I just liked it, so I did it. I want you guys to pay attention to the trends in the marketplace. And I dare you, and then I'm going to wrap it up. As you know me, I get on a roll and I don't stop. And I'm going for half an hour already. I dare you, start watching the commercials. Start watching Instagram. Start watching everything. It's starting to shift. I'm watching it happen right in front of my eyes. It's the same when we used to turn on the TV and we started seeing the Twitter and Facebook, or there wasn't Twitter and MySpace back then, logos at the bottom of the screen, or when you started to be able to vote for American Idol on Twitter. That was unheard of. Well, I'm watching this happening now across the board. And every major marketer that people pay attention to, they're shifting their language now. Pay attention. Or you're going to just be the only one talking like that. And it's not going to work. All right. Pajama party. I still have some popcorn. I'm not going to eat much of it, but I had some. I hope you guys are hearing me. I hope you guys are plugged in and paying attention. If you're not on the newsletter, DianeHochman.com. Could be around. If any of you guys are, looking for a business home, we can do a presentation tomorrow night. Let me know. If you have a business home, bless you. If any of you guys are looking for marketing help, let me know. If you are good with marketing, bless you. Go out and help someone else, serve someone else, or hit me up and let's do a live together. Let's talk about this stuff together. Let's talk about the changes as an industry, as a space, as professionals. Connie just said, I'll put this up, just tell stories. Guys, that's it. That's all I've done. What did I do tonight? Trying to show that. I told you the story, right? About, whoops, I didn't mean to do that, Lou, but thank you. You're welcome. I was trying to do just tell stories. Guys, I'm telling you the story about seeing a Frank Kern ad. I screenshotted it because I thought it was so important. I'm just telling you a story about what I see coming. That's all I'm doing. That's it. And then some of you guys are going to go, I want to work with her. You're going to contact me. Some of you guys are going to say thank you, and you're going to go back to working what you're doing. Some of you guys are going to go, she's nuts. See me in 3 years, 2 years. I'll see you then. We'll have a Coke. I don't drink Coke, but we'll have something, a beverage, an iced tea, unsweet, and we'll talk about it. So, Jack, you and I have been trying to do a live for forever. Book me next week. Let's do it. You blew me off last time. I'm kidding. I think both of our schedules got crazy. Let us do a live, and it will be tremendous, and I would very much look forward to that. All right, Pookies, I'm going to go do some other stuff. And I have this feeling this is going to be one of those wild, rampant nights where I write all kinds of things and stuff. So I'm going to go work on that. If you need me, message me. I'll be around on both Facebook and YouTube. All right. See you guys later. Take care.